In this video, we will be discussing with the second part of Portia's speech where Bassanio is compared with Alcides or Hercules. Here Portia says, "Now he goes with no less presence, but with much more love than young Alcides, when he did redeem the virgin tribute paid by howling Troy to the sea monster. I stand for sacrifice. The rest aloof are the Dardanian wives, with bleared visages, come forth to view the issue of the exploit. Go, Hercules, live thou, I live. With much more dismay, I view the fight than thou makest the fray. So, when Bassanio advances to make the choice of caskets, Portia compares him to the ancient mythological hero Hercules, who had on one occasion saved a virgin from being devoured by a sea monster. So here Hercules is also known as Alcides because he was the son of Alcaeus and he rescued Hesione, the unmarried daughter of the Trojan king, and that is the reason why she was the virgin tribute, unmarried virgin. Now Portia compares herself to that virgin whom Hercules had rescued from the sea monster. The virgin, that is Hesione, the daughter of the king of Troy, had been offered by the king and the people of Troy to the sea monster as a kind of tribute or payment to ward off the danger to the city of Troy from the sea monster. The women of the city of Troy were shedding tears at that time at the sad fate of the virgin. Portia says that her feelings at this particular moment is also similar to the feelings of that virgin who was going to lose her life, and she compares Nerissa and the other members of the Trojan women who were to witness the sad fate of the virgin to the Dardanian wives. So since Portia compares herself with Hesione and she compares Bassanio with Alcides, with Hercules who had come to rescue Hesione. So here Portia is also in a situation where she is sacrificed. She can neither choose nor refuse. And Bassanio comes to the rescue of Portia and all the others who were present there. So when Hesione was paid as a tribute to the sea monster, when the sea monster was about to devour Hesione, at that particular moment all the women of Troy, they were standing around with the tear-filled eyes, with the bleared visages, and they were expressing their sorrow and sadness at the fate of the virgin tribute. Same way, all the attendants of Portia, that is Nerissa and the other attendants, they were also standing there like the Trojan women, and they are referred to as the Dardanian wives. So the Trojan women, they are called Dardanian wives because they are the descendants of Dardanus, who is believed to have founded the city of Troy. So when Hercules came forward to defend the virgin and to fight against the sea monster, the women waited tearfully to see the outcome of the fight. In the same way, the members of Portia's household, they were also waiting suspensefully for the outcome of Bassanio's choice of casket. And Portia was standing there for sacrifice. Thus addressing Bassanio, Portia says that in her eyes he is another Hercules. But one thing to be noted here is that Bassanio is different from Hercules in the point that he advances with much more love than Hercules. You should remember that Hercules had come forward to save the virgin tribute from the sea monster, and he had come forward not out of love. He had come to save the virgin tribute because of his desire to get the horses which were offered as a reward by the king of Troy. But here Bassanio, he has come forward because of his love. So he has much more love than Alcides. Now, if Bassanio wins the contest, then Portia's life would really become happy. And if he loses the contest, she would accept defeat, and that defeat would be a signal of her death. So if Bassanio lives, Portia would also live. So as you know that for the romantic lovers, success in love is the be all and end all of their life. So Bassanio's success in the lottery of casket would mean a life to Bassanio as well as to Portia. Now since Portia's life dependent upon the lottery of casket and upon the success of Bassanio, so therefore Portia was watching the fight with much more fray than Bassanio was making the choice of the casket. And just at that time, the fourth part will come, the song. The musicians, they start playing the song. And what is the song? Tell me where is fancy bred, or in the heart or in the head, how begot, how nourished. Reply, reply. The first part of the song is in the form of a question. The second part of the song is a reply to the question that was raised in the first part of the song. In the first part of the song, the musicians are asking, where is fancy bred? What is fancy? Passing affection. Passing affection. So where is fancy, the passing affection, developed than opposed to true love or real love? Is it developed in the heart or is it developed in the head? How it is born, from where it is originated, and how it is nourished, how it develops, Then the reply is, it is engendered in the eyes. Engendered in the eyes means fancy, passing affection is conceived, is originated, or it is born in the eyes of the onlooker. And the more the person looks at something, the more passionate he becomes about that thing. So it is gazing fed, means the loving glances develops that fancy. And when the beautiful object passes away from our eyes, we completely forget about that object. So fancy ultimately dies in the eyes itself. So fancy is born in the eyes, developed in the eyes, and ultimately it dies in the eyes itself. So it lies in the eyes where it was born. So the eyes becomes the cradle, only becomes the place of death for the fancy. So therefore let us ring fancy's knell. I will begin it, ding dong bell, ding dong bell. So they try to ring the funeral bell of fancy, which marks its end. So passing affection is not true love. So infatuation. It is born in the eyes, developed in the eyes, and ultimately it dies in the eyes itself. So some critics, they are of the opinion that this particular song that was sung by the musicians, it seemed to give a clue to Bassanio to the correct choice of the casket. Because as you can make out that the theme that the song presents, the song apparently is a warning against judging by the eyes alone. That is, judging something taking into consideration its external appearance. Since fancy is born in the eyes, develops in the eyes, and dies in the eyes, so therefore we should not trust our eyes. We should not judge anything taking into consideration only what our eyes tell us. So the song may provide a hint to Bassanio that he must not judge something only taking into consideration the outward appearance. And then again, if you see the first three lines, okay, where is fancy bred, in the heart or in the head, how begot, how nourished. The three words, bred, head, and nourished. bread, head, and nourished, they all seem to rhyme with the lead, which may give an indication to Bassanio that the right casket is the lead casket. But still, we cannot definitely say that Portia was giving a hint to Bassanio, because the way a person interprets a song, that is something depends upon the personal choice, his personal inclination. So a person may interpret the same song in different ways. So here Bassanio was smart enough, he was intelligent enough to catch the theme of the song. So credit goes to Bassanio, and we cannot blame Portia for having helped Bassanio in the choice of the casket. So thank you. In the next class, we will be discussing about Bassanio's choice of casket and what line of argument did Bassanio have for making the right choice of the casket. So one thing you must remember, that Bassanio was able to catch the tone, the theme of the song. Thank you.